Welcome to the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. 1 hour of highlights from this past week. Comedy, politics, current events, and pop culture. All completely uncensored.
The best of the Anthony Cumia Show podcast is brought to you by LootCrate.com. Geek and gamer gear delivered to your door each month. Use code CUMIA for 10% off. What happened with the Starbucks? What happened? What happened, Starbucks? I thought we were having a racial meeting of the minds here, a little discussion. Race together. Hashtag race together. Written on the cups, and then you go, hey, look, race together. Let me have a little discussion. Hey, what do you think about race? And well, it's done. That lasted, what, a week? Was it a week? Which falls in line with just about every other hashtag, no matter what it is. Something funny, something tragic, a cause. It's about a week. So right on schedule, their little hashtag race together lasted about as long as every other hashtag lasts. So job well done. How did that work out? Were a lot of people participating? Do we is race relations, are race relations better now in this country because Starbucks did that? Did anyone talk to anyone about race in Starbucks? People don't understand. The biggest problem with race discussion, and the reason this failed so miserably, is people are petrified to talk about race. Petrified. I would love to see a barista have the opinion that his racial discussion would be of the opinion that black people bear most of the responsibility for poor race relations that we have in this country today. Now, that would be just a discussion. He's not saying, he's not advocating violence. He's not advocating taking away anyone's rights or being that. But could you see maybe a barista, he writes race together, gives it to somebody, maybe a black gentleman, and then says, hey, I really believe that black people have the responsibility on their shoulders to make things better. I think this, that. And then maybe they get into a heated discussion about it. And then maybe the gentleman goes to the boss and says, your racist barista was saying that all black people, this, that, and then he gets fired. Do you think he would want to take that chance, getting into a real heated, real discussion about race? Or do you just think, all right, I'll write hashtag race together, we'll do this, and then I'll have this puffy, nice conversation with somebody about how we need to work together, and, you know, we all know what the problem is, right?
30 seconds into that conversation, you'd have some guy, about 2 or 3 people back online going, hey, asshole, how about you make my fucking caramel macchiato and shut the fuck up?
Exactly. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Where do I have to go? I have to go to a community debate to get a cup of coffee? This is ridiculous. I don't see anybody having done that. I don't know of anybody. I know a lot of people that go to Starbucks. Oh, I do. And I don't know of one that got into a conversation about race.
Yeah, we're friendly with a few people that work at Starbucks.
Yes, of course.
They wanted nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it. It's too volatile. That's the discussion about race, is everyone's petrified to talk about race in a real way. It's easy to talk about race by just kind of, the system. There, you put this faceless entity that is the problem for racism. It's systemic. Ooh. It's an overall systemic racism that is in place in the infrastructure of it. It's like when we used to be at Sirius XM, and it was like, you can't do that. Why? Who said? And they would point at the ceiling. The ceiling said, no, the guy upstairs, there's people. There's people up there. Really? Who? What person said we couldn't do this? The guys, some consortium of gentlemen. That's how racism is discussed openly, is to blame a thing, this thing the blob, a cloud, the cloud. Because the second you start calling out individuals and saying that people aren't really taking responsibility, accountability, things like that, then you're going to get a real discussion about race, and people will really be getting fired because that's just what happens. It's terrible. What is this video? Somebody actually, went to Starbucks?
Oh, I was just pulling that up. Good.
Yeah.
What do you think about this whole race together thing? Doesn't that race together thing start today? Or whatever?
No, I believe it's over now.
It's over now?
Yeah.
Really? Because I thought it was supposed to start today. That's what I thought.
No, we did that already.
You did it already?
Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't really like talking about it, honestly.
No.
I feel like it's just not the conversation to have.
I got an email today that was today.
The race together is still on. Yes, every day. It's every day until all day. That's why I asked today, and you guys said, I don't know.
Hey, good. What do you think about, race relations?
Race relations, you need to go through the corporate media at Starbucks for any comment.
What do you think should have, happened with all those cases, at the police and stuff?
I mean, I didn't really look into all that stuff, to be honest with you. 751.
What do you think about, race relations in America right now?
The race, I love everybody.
Most of the customers that come here, it's like, this is your first interaction in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, good morning, I want a coffee, but let's talk about racial issues. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird.
What do you think about, white privilege stuff?
Everyone should be
Yeah, so, do you think that, white people have an advantage over...
that, I don't know.
Yeah. What would be an example of an okay question?
Well, I mean, if you want, you can take a look at the papers.
You don't think about, white privilege or anything like that?
I don't know, excuse me, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
This is perfect.
Oh.
Step off at the moment. Can I take a next question?
That is a perfect example. Perfect example of the real world application of this feel-good shit that some dumb fuck at Starbucks decided was a good idea. Feel good, hashtag, and they think it's like some fucking, a coffee bar where people are going to be smoking like this. Let's talk about it. They're sitting there, they have their novel. Let me put my novel down and we'll discuss. It's not happening like that. Look, race detective, great. I got a line here. We're running a business. You talk to media relations at corporate. I don't fucking know anything. They're running away. It's the new communist scare. The communism scares of the 50s, McCarthyism, where if you were pointed out as a communist, you were blackballed. The Hollywood stars that were accused of being a communist that you never heard from again. And that's how people feel about this. You want to talk about race? You pose an awkward question about race, responsibility, and things like that. People will fucking run. They will leave that cartoon smoke. You won't see them. They'll leave an impression in the wall as they smash through it, trying to get away from open and honest discussions on race. People can't run away from an open and honest racial discussion fast enough or make excuses. And that wasn't just some random, hey, let's walk into a fucking hardware store and ask a guy about race. They were supposed to have a discussion. They were directed by the highest management of their fucking work to talk about race. And still, what did you get? Hamna, hamna, hamna. I got a line. Hamna, move along. Move along, please. No talking about race. Come back 1 year. Unfucking believable.
Did you see their USA Today ad?
No. Was that it? Your race relations reality check. That's nice. Let's take a look. My parents had blank friends of a different race. Where do you stand? Use these conversation starters with your family and friends. My parents had blank friends of a different race. Let's
take this about your parents. Go ahead.
Yeah. My parents had none friends of a different race. Does more Italian count? They had a lot of friends that were more or less Italian than themselves, and a few Irish people because my dad liked to drink. Jim McNally was one of his good friends. I have blank friends of a different race. I say I have actual friends or acquaintances. Let me think. There's Carlton, my African-American friend. Jess, who is some type of sand nigger.
You have half a Puerto Rican rattlesnake.
Puerto Rican rattlesnake, that's true.
But only half, as it was exposed on Ron and Fez.
What about the retarded? I have quite a
that's
few
like
of those.
that's down the line in questions. Don't skip ahead.
Okay, don't skip. My children have friends of a different race. Let's ask the girlfriend. Blank members of a different race live on my block or apartment building. Wow. Jews, Jews, Jews. I am surrounded by Jews. That's about it. I most often talk to someone of another race at work, at church, at home. Well, I'm at work. Yeah, that don't work. At church? Oh, okay. And home? I'm home. Doesn't really help. What great conversation starters those would be. In my Facebook stream, blank percent are of a different race. I would say, well, I have a lot of fucking people that are fans of the show.
Right. How many girls are black girls? Let's just put it that way, because 90% of your fans are women.
0.0. Mr. Blutarski. Yeah. I slowly eliminate, like, guys from my Facebook, and I just add girls now. It's like Tinder. In the past year, I have been to the home of someone of a different race blank times. Blank times.
Exactly. Next question.
Blank time. In the past year, someone of a different race has been in my home. Well, because of my locks, alarm system, and camera, only one. Carlton has been. At work, we have managers of blank different races.
No, I'm Italian.
Italian. We got a Jew. What are you, Garrett?
Eastern European.
Eastern European. I like that. Well, where do you hail from there, Aaron? Irish. I love the Irish.
Who's in charge of Asian Anthony?
Hey, Asian Anthony and Garrett, two Asians appear on this very program. Garrett's son.
You've got the Chinese and Japanese.
Chinese, Japanese. We're very Asian friendly here on the show. And in the past year, I have eaten a meal with someone of a different race. Let me think. Carlton was over, and I ordered pizza. How have your racial views evolved from those of your parents? They haven't. They have not. That evolutionary chart is exactly status quo. Yes, I still have a fun name for Brazil nuts. Do you have a childhood friend of a different race that you've lost touch with, and why? Well, the last friend I had, childhood friend of a different race, there was Smitty Dunbar in school who used to shake me down for a stick of gum in the 5th grade. I lost touch with him because he used to shake me down for a stick of gum in the 5th grade. Smitty Dunbar. There was another kid, I can't remember his name, but he ratted me out for throwing a thermos against a tree. He came into the classroom and went like this, pointed to me with the principal, had her arm around the little student, and she went, and I was up at the board doing a problem, and I just saw him go like this. And he pointed at me. I'm like, you fucking rat. And I had to go to the principal's office and tell her that I broke the thermos, and they asked why, and I said because I just liked the sound it made. I was a kid. Of course I liked the sound it made. It's like when I drew swastikas on the tip of my sneakers. You know the sneakers had those little rubber tips on them, the old skippies, old sneakers? I drew swastikas on them. And the teacher asked me, do you know what those represent? And I said, no. I was a kid. It looked cool. Sorry, people. Sorry, rat. Swastikas, to someone that doesn't know what the fuck they mean, look cool. Once you know what they represented and what they did, it's fucking horrific. Horrific. What is America's greatest race challenge? Getting enough boats. Race together, people. Race together.
It's the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. The Anthony Cumia Show airs live Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern in glorious high-definition video, exclusively at anthonycumia.com.
Last night, I watched Unbroken. Unbroken. That's that Angelina Jolie movie. She produced it, directed it, and it's about this guy that was an Olympic athlete, an Olympic runner, who his plane went down in the Pacific during World War II, picked up by the Japs, and just treated like garbage. Wow. This is the trailer. It looks amazing. The opening sequence, that seems to be the big thing to do ever since Saving Private Ryan. You got to have a real cool opening sequence that gets you, like, sucks you right in there. And that did it. The CGI of the aircraft and the confined quarters in those planes, they really did a good job. And an amazing story. Very amazing. This poor son of a bitch. Oh, my God. How we are friends with the Japanese is beyond me. How we are actually pally-wally with them. I don't know. And look, they've never done anything bad to me. I'm not going to be one of those people that blame people from years and years ago for today's problems. You won't see me doing that. But wow, they did some nasty stuff in those POW camps. Holy shit. They had like some kind of fucking chip on their shoulder. That whole thing.
What's that?
What's that? What's that? He had a fucking fortune cookie on his shoulder or something. That's Chinese chip. Same thing. I have to talk to my own chip here. Thank you, Jimmy. I give Jimmy credit for his chip impressions. I love Jimmy. Yeah, so the goddamn Japs, can I say that? The goddamn Japs in this movie, holy shit. There's never been a war movie where people are having a good time in a Japanese POW camp. I mean, even the Nazi POW camps, Hogan's Heroes, it looked like a pisser. It looked like a genuine pisser. Everyone having fun. They couldn't even come up with a scenario where people might be having a good time in a Japanese POW camp. You know, Colonel Klink, he was out half the time. Schultz was the buddy with everybody. Bull Carter, he barely came around. Klink, you are a fool. But, you know, comedy, Nazi POW camp. But this is a really good movie. I highly recommend it. And then after I see it, I check the news today, and the Japanese, what are they doing? It's like Germany. They go, the biggest flat top, that type of a haircut. American haircut like a Clint Eastwood. That, to me, is a red flag right here. A white flag with a red dot in the middle, maybe. It's the Japanese Navy gets biggest flat top since World War II era aircraft carriers. And you know what they did with those, people. You know what they did with those, huh? Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force. Is that what they're calling it? Self-defense? Took delivery of the biggest Japanese warship since World War II. The Izumo helicopter carrier, as big as the Imperial Navy aircraft carriers that battled the United States in the Pacific. The Izumo, with a crew of 470. Highly visible example of how Japan is expanding the capability of its military to operate overseas and enters service as Prime Minister Shinzo Abe seeks lawmaker approval to loosen the restraints of Japan's pacifist post-war constitution. If you remember, Rat, do you remember right after World War II? That's when your people got some fucking real estate.
How's that going for us?
It's, you know what? Much better than a lot of people thought, I think. Much to those Arabs' chagrin. But after World War II, condition of the surrender, well, it was an unconditional surrender. One of our conditions was that Japan could not build an armed forces like they had, an offensive armed forces, you know. So it always said, oh, it's just for defense. This, by the way, was Germany's tack after World War I, when they were told they could not build an army, and proceeded to build one of the most amazing mechanized armies that the world had ever seen, completely changing warfare for the 20th century. And Japan, you know what? They're an economic powerhouse. We buy a lot of their stuff. They have a kind of a different mindset than us culturally. I mean, they were really, and this, you know, it's not that long ago. There are some people still fucking clinging on to shit that happened hundreds of years ago. So the Japanese, it's only, 75 years ago or so? Something like that. You never know what they're up to. I'm just saying, Rat, put someone on this story and keep an eye on the Japanese. Because I called that Yemen and Syria shit years ago. I just don't want to see the Japanese getting rambunctious. If that thing starts steaming toward Hawaii, all bets are off. Get out the torpedo bombers. Hit them old school. It just, you know, gets me a little nervous. We're very friendly with them, but we fucking hated the Japanese. I was thinking, like, as I was watching Unbroken, how will our relationship be with countries like Iran in 70 years? You know, even though it didn't take that long for us to get on buddy-buddy terms with Japan, it went relatively quickly. And I think that had to do with the Marshall Plan after World War II. We decided we were going to go in there and rebuild and stuff, you know, kind of go in there and show them how it's done, 20th century style, not that old emperor shit. And the only difference between then and now with going into a country and you know, rebuilding something and showing them how it's done is they didn't have any political correctness. I don't think any of the generals that were over there conducting business after the war to get things started again gave a fuck about the emperor, Japanese culture, or any other that shit. So when you have to tiptoe around Muslim ideology and Muhammad and Allah and fucking mosques and all this other shit, it just, you can't work. It's both hands tied behind your back. The Americans went into Japan and occupied it, and rebuilt and taught them how to live in the 20th century. And now they're doing great, those Japs, right? They are a little goofy about diarrhea and young girl panties. But who isn't? I mean, like I said, they're a little off, but we did pretty good. So how will that be in years to come with you know, the likes of people around the world like ISIS and other terrorist organizations, countries we just don't get along with? Will we ever be buying fucking Iranian television sets? Will we be ever be buying like fucking cars from Syria and Libya? Libya, what do you got there? Hey, it's fucking things from Libya. It's great. Fucking flies, this thing. It's amazing. I don't really see it. But again, when you look back at how despised the Japanese were during and just after the war, holy fuck. Not even looked at as human. Not even looked at as human fucking beings. So I guess anything's possible. That's my little hope. That's Anthony's optimism. It's pretty grim, isn't it? But there's a little glimmer. There's a little glimmer that, because of how things went in the past, perhaps the future holds some kind of a hope. I don't know. Let's see. What is this, Douglas Nelson? Japan's aircraft carrier has more to do with Beijing than Pearl Harbor. Of course. I understand their problems with China and North Korea. Shit like that. I understand why Japan is doing it, but honestly, here's the dealio. We pretty much have said we have to take care of Japan after World War II. When you have an ally and you've pretty much ripped out their teeth and told them they could not grow new ones, you then have to take on the responsibility of caring for them. I really don't think Japan needs a little helicopter aircraft carrier. I think if anything ever happened to Japan, perhaps not under this president, maybe it is a good idea, okay? I'm starting to second-guess myself. This president doesn't seem to be right there for the old allies. But maybe for a future president, if anything happens to Japan, we would be right there in a second to help them out, So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But those Japanese over the course of history, like the Germans, I love the Germans. They are a people of amazing technological advancements, engineering. Some of the smartest people on the face of this goddamn earth are Germans. Of course, they were misled a few years back. We could all understand that whole thing. But twice in the 20th century, they tried to, what? Oh, that's right. Take over the world. That's something just evil scientists in movies do. But they actually tried to do it twice. And they cannot be trusted. I think it's just in their blood. Just as really good machining and engineering and stuff is in their DNA, I believe. This whole yearning for taking over the world, I think it's in there. So they always have to be watched with their armies and stuff. But I don't feel Japan is that far behind that. There you go. Anthony's geopolitical situational awareness in 2015.
You want a graphic for that?
Yes. There you go. I like when I spout off like this because some people I read some people's tweets like, he has no fucking idea what he's talking about. And that's fine. I really don't care. It's all just off the top of my dumb head.
Well, here's a little hope. There is an Iranian car company.
Is there?
An IKCO Samand.
Can we see what this vehicle looks like? Ah, ride in the lap of luxury. Rich Jew skin leather. You think that's how they do it over there? Ah, all the chrome is made out of the fillings from Jews' teeth. You think, right? Those Iranians, boy, do they hate you Jews. Hate them. That's great.
It's pretty much a Peugeot.
Peugeot?
Peugeot, yeah.
Room for 15 Jews in the ashtray. Right. Those Iranians, they hate the Jew. Look at this thing. It looks like a Chevy Chevette from the 70s and 80s. The Chevy Chevette. The Ford Pinto. That's good. That's good. How many sticks of a dynamite can you fit in the trunk so you can drive it into something that constructive people are doing?
8.
Is that it? Automotive industry in Iran. I guess with the embargoes and shit over the years, they've actually had to make their own stuff. Look at Cuba. They've had an embargo, and they're driving around in 57 Chevys held together with bubble gum and fucking baling wire because they can't get any goods. I guess Russia probably helps Iran out with their automobiles. Automobile. There you go. Here's the Iranian. That's one of the top of the line, just off the assembly line right there. Notice the big airbag in front deployed for your safety. There we go. There's another model. It comes in brown and darker brown. Look at those legs. You want to get that True Coat on there. You're going to get some corrosion on those hooves. If you don't get that True Coat. You told me that the Camel would be delivered for $19.5. It's always more.
It's the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. 1 hour of what you missed this week because you're too damn cheap to pay for it.
Look who is here. I wasn't even going to futz around in the other studio, rambling and blathering on about the day's news when my good friend, James Norton, came all the way out from New York City, from the big city.
It was actually an easy ride. It was one of those things where today the guy took a different route.
He did.
Fascinating story. Yeah, I wanted to open the show with it. I'm like, wait till they hear the trapfic report. They're going to be so happy I came.
Yeah, well, when you were telling me, I was like, save it for the show.
Yeah. Because remember I said I hadn't gone over that bridge, but there was a toll. It was really
just fascinating stuff.
Really good stuff.
Jim Norton, welcome
you.
back. Always good to have you here.
I like it out here. It's nice and roomy.
Isn't it roomy?
Yeah.
Well, you are one of the reasons we're getting a bigger studio space in the city.
Really?
Because, I want to have you on more.
Thank you.
But it's the drive, again, the traffic and the roads, and, you can finish your story if you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting out here and getting back is to die for. But, yeah, believe me, once you're in the city, I will be on quite a lot.
Yes, that's that's absolutely what I wanted to do, is have you on a lot. Yeah. We also are going to have Vaughn on today. Remember Patrice's gal?
I do.
Vaughn. She's coming on because they're doing a documentary. This one is Better Than You. That's what it's called.
Yep.
Better Than You, which is something only Patrice could have gotten away with saying. Stuff like that. I'm better than you.
Yeah, for some reason he had this charisma which just allowed him to be really arrogant and shitty, and people were like, it's okay, it works.
Yeah, I want to ask Vaughn a few things about that. Like, was he always on? Was he always like we saw him on stage or on the radio show? Were there tender moments?
Oh yeah, he was a big mush.
Was he a mush?
Yes, I saw him that way with hookers in Brazil.
see, that's not really a mush.
It is though, caressing their faces. Like, what are you doing?
That's kind of twisted.
Yeah. He was loving. I just found a picture. I've been talking about. I'm going to tweet it, but I'm trying to block the girl's eyes out. It's from 2000. The date is actually on it. It's from I think March of 2004. And I had just watched.
She was probably wishing she would have blocked her eyes out while she was with you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure from her perspective, Patrice and then me kneeling like a fucking, and I have red eye in the picture, so I'm like a little fucking rat boy just staring. It's so awful. And Patrice used a dildo on her, and I just watched.
Wow.
That was where I came up with the name Dr. Dildo for him. And she actually came, and there's a picture of her, and she's like laughing, like she can't believe she had an orgasm.
Wow.
With this big monster
and
just kneeling there.
And it wasn't one of those, because they're pretty good down there at faking that they're your girlfriend kind of a thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So she wasn't faking. You could tell it was an authentic orgasm.
Yeah.
Wow.
It seemed like one, and her giggling after was
wow.
like she was surprised that she had actually gotten over. And I keep meaning to tweet that, but I don't know how to block out the eyes. Just you can't see it because her hair's in her face, but I don't want to violate her private. I don't know who she is.
Is there something that? Wow, that's very nice of you. Like no one would think. Let's cover up her identity for her own safety.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just to not embarrass her. Who knows? She could be she could be a mother now and have the kids. I don't know.
And subscribes to your Instagram.
Absolutely, so she could be a big fan.
You don't know.
I like him. He's funny.
Were they really the most loving girls for sale down there?
I didn't enjoy it, to be honest.
You didn't?
No, I like the communication. They don't speak English. So the only girl I got that spoke English, I just hung out with and never slept with. Never slept with her, Fabiana. I hung out with her for a couple of days.
Fabiana.
Yeah, Fabiana.
Wow, that's
I didn't sleep with her.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Just to hang out.
Believe it or not, I went more for the camaraderie. And just hang out with my dumb friends. I found another picture of Me, Patrice, Bobby Kelly,
Oh my God.
and no, Bobby was in this. Jason was in this one, and this other comedian who I never named because I think he was married at the time.
Whoops.
So I have to black his face out or cover it because he was the one who would kiss the girls, like loving, like he was making out. We were laughing, like look at him.
He's in love,
He
right?
literally won't stop kissing prostitutes. It's like, dude, we're in a fucking third world country. What's the matter with you?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but he was more fun to watch than anything, and I kind of enjoyed just going to the little place and eating, and
Yeah.
I had fun just hanging out with those dummies.
I like the I like that I've actually watched some of you guys. Oh, there you go.
That's not the picture
that's
I mean.
Not, no.
That's me, Keith, Patrice, and Bobby in the same hotel room. That was when Patrice was in his Jersey phase.
Yes, yeah.
He went through all these clothing and I still thought it was good to wear an open shirt with a fucking white T-shirt under it. Nobody will notice I have tits and hang my stupid sunglasses. I really should have died down there.
Yeah.
And fucking
Wow,
Keith
did
looked
weigh
awful.
A lot more.
I don't know what's wrong with Keith in that picture. Thank you for
Oh,
zooming
yeah,
in.
look at that.
He just looks awful in that with his dumb sunglasses.
Wow, that is amazing. Look how much more weight you had on you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was a little fatty.
Wow.
A little fatty.
It's so interesting, though, to watch how you guys have, like, grown up. It's kind of weird to say, but I forget sometimes how long I've known most of you guys, like Bobby and Keith even. Like Bobby now, all those stories that he's told on the air are just horrific.
Yeah.
The retarded girl sex in the basement story.
Right.
Yeah, just horrible things.
I'm sure she's telling that story too somewhere. And then she's fucking like telling like whatever retarded radio show she does, and she's like that, and they point to his picture, and all the other people are like, oh, you
feel bad
poor
for her,
thing,
yeah.
you poor thing.
It's because Bobby, married with a kid now.
Yeah.
As responsible as anybody I've ever known, and coming from being that guy from those stories, and even you, although you were sober when I met you,
slow on booze, enjoy the road. Is that uncomfortable? I saw a bumper sticker like that. I've never rooted for a sober person to drunk drive before. There's a bumper sticker. Slow on booze, enjoy the road. Oh, fucking hit a pole.
I don't see many sobriety bumper stickers anymore. There used to be what was the big one that was always one day at a time, I guess.
Oh yeah, I forgot
the showroom that one, I guess.
Yeah,
people thought you were a big Mackenzie Phillips fan.
yeah. Well, especially after the incest stories with her and her father.
Yes,
how could you not jerk off when you saw
parts,
that? Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. And Dad would make me talk slower. You fucking Shelley Duvall looking zilch.
Father would walk in, she'd be, "This is it." Okay, I guess it is again.
Up on your feet. Mother was coming in.
And watching, over the years, of course, you don't even seem as kind of, you weren't crazy or anything, but you were a lot more, I don't know, manic back then.
Yeah, you get older, man. You start to just go like, life is really good. I should just shut up.
Yeah.
What's the matter with me? Like, I'm panicking about everything. I still panic, but it's more internal and it's not as bad. And
do you think it's the security? Like, we've all done pretty well in this job.
Yep. Some weller than others.
Some weller than others. Others even more weller.
Yeah.
But like, do you think that contributes to, like, just saying, hey, let me sit back and enjoy some of this shit and not be so fucking nervous and
I know my bills are. I still get nervous about money though. I'm telling you, man, getting kicked off the air. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Getting kicked off in 2002. It frightened me so much because I saw everything getting taken away, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna sink into nothing.
Devastating.
It fucking freaked me out. And in a way, it made me more responsible. Like I never fucked up. Like there's been so many times I wanted to just really say awful shit, and I was
just tweet it.
Yeah, that will do.
It works great. You just don't say it, tweet it, and be safe.
No, I got it.
Well, Vaughn is here.
The girl driver.
Yes.
I drove here, and I was telling Mark, who came with me, the director of the documentary for Patrice, I'm like, you should have totally drove, because I'm a girl driver. And I'm good when a guy isn't in the car, but as soon as a man is in the car, I lose like some of my brain cells. Like,
is it you're thinking too much about what you're doing?
No, I think too much. I drive good, but when a guy is in a car, it's like, well, you should think. I get to relax because a man is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I noticed.
I don't know why I'm like that.
I noticed I drive a little. I drive much safer when I have someone else in the car. Like I won't do crazy shit. I won't do that. But like I'll drive slower. I won't. The road rage doesn't come out as much.
It's hard to drive. When I get a woman in the car, I get too just. You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta hold the wheel and then do that with your fucking fingers. Fucking jab them in. Fucking come, or I'm gonna drop you off on the side of the fucking road.
Yeah,
probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's very distracting.
Jimmy, you probably shouldn't. Well, Vaughn, I was trying to think, like, the last time you were here, it was one of the parties.
I know. When we were pulling up, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It was when Patrice was grilling out back. What a great fucking time that was. He took over. That was it. He's like, all right.
We had an argument in the movie.
In the theater?
You know about that?
You had a little argument?
Yeah, because he was like talking about money and, I love your house. And it was like, this house is beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, this is probably the level that I'll get to.
Yeah.
But if you need like big mansions and stuff like that, then it's probably, because he was talking about how he, burned bridges and he's probably gonna, he's gonna keep his integrity and go as far as he goes.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I could probably get here. But if you need like 10 of these, I'm like...
Yeah, if you need one of these in multiple cities.
Like, when I met Patrice, he had a car that people made fun of and called car service because it was one of those Lincoln Town cars or whatever.
It looked like
he had a roommate. And his bed he had like a king-size bed in his little room. We would have to do like this to get into his room.
Holy shit.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
He had that momentary thing of like, oh no, she's looking for something that I can't provide.
Yeah, I was going to totally move into Anthony's house that
day. Yeah, of course. That is very alarming for a guy that really cares about a girl if she brings up something where it's like, uh-oh, I don't know if I can do that. And I definitely can't do it right now, but I don't know if I have the ability to do that, and you start doubting. Yeah, okay, but that's just, he might have known better, but I think that's just a basic guy thing.
It is.
Where
he had a provider mentality. He wanted to take not just of me, his mom, my daughter, all of his friends.
Yeah,
he wanted to be everything for everybody. That was just how he was.
I'll always just badmouth the person who has the good stuff to the girl. Like,
there you
Anthony
go.
has such an he does. I mean, unfortunately he has AIDS, so he won't be here much longer.
Yeah. Did you go up to the bedroom where he killed that girl?
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, at that age, she never should have been allowed to be at his house alone. But, babysitting's babysitting. It's unfortunate that happened.
I thought you made stuff up. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you get the crib bars on your thighs. I hear you.
Yeah. Yes, very.
But I driving up, I was like, because I've been to a lot of places now. It's been pushing 4 years now. This is one place I haven't been since he passed.
Yeah.
So sometimes that pulls up.
Yeah, he took over the grill and was like, he was just like, yeah, I need that. You got this, and I'll take this, that, and once he was set up, goddamn, shit was just flying off the grill. It was fantastic.
He's a great cook.
And fantastic. I think about that often, and I also think about like that big leather chair I have in the living room. Was like no one really ever uses it, but when he sat it was perfect for him. Yeah, it was big, and that was when he had a Guinness. He wanted a Guinness. He's like, "What do you?" It's like, "What are you drinking there?" I go, "It's a Guinness."
And he doesn't drink.
No,
I'm like, what? Stop.
What a rookie he was!
Oh, it was great.
Like,
one beer,
but he doesn't drink. I don't drink. He didn't drink, but it wasn't because of each other. It was just because it's not something that I do. And I know that Patrice said years ago he drank before he got on stage, like in his early comedy days. And he said, that was the funniest I've ever been.
Oh, no.
I can't ever do this again. I'll be an addict. He's like, I see why people get addicted, especially if they're using that to be funny. He was like, I can't ever do that again. So he was
There is a weird mentality with drinking like that. I don't know if you are better or you just think you're better, or if it's different based on who you are.
Probably both,
And it's different how much you've had to drink. I've noticed with anything, there's a drinking curve. It's like you'll get better, wham, and the fall off is severe. And it's anything from lovemaking to darts.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden it's like, this is great. I'm really good. And then you'll just suck at it.
Then you realize you're combining the two and you're throwing a dart at her clitoris. Why are you screaming every time I get a fucking bullseye, bitch?
Give me a drink.
Drinking just makes me have to pee a lot. Like, it does nothing. It makes me sleepy.
Yeah.
And it makes me have to pee.
I noticed with like your ability as far as a comic or even on-air personality, when I was doing afternoon radio at NEW, I would grab beers, put them behind my monitor, and just start drinking. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it just seemed normal. Sit there and have a few beers during the show. And once we got fired and then rehired to do mornings, I was very nervous as to whether I could do this in the morning, because I can't drink in the morning.
In the morning, yeah.
I just would not go to that level.
Well, one would think.
There have been a few Saturday or Sunday mornings with this fucking these debaucherous assholes that I have in the morning. But like I couldn't go in at 6 a.m., do a radio show, and start drinking.
Right.
And I was worried whether I'd be able to do that and keep continuing
be
what
as
I was
loose,
doing.
be as funny, be as relaxed. Yeah,
because it is something. But I don't think you're. I don't think it makes you funny. I know that much.
It might lower your inhibition, so maybe you'd say something funny that you wouldn't have said before.
Yeah.
And I think with women, too, I think men in general drink to relax, whereas women drink to have an excuse. Like, so for me, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I do all my dirt completely sober. I don't have an excuse. Yeah, I really did. Like, yeah. It's like, you don't need an excuse. If you need an excuse, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
It's very, I don't think many people put a lot of credence into I was drunk excuse. I really don't. People use it a lot.
Colleges, they do.
But yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing.
I don't know. Hey, we were singing on the bus.
Yeah.
What happened? But a lot of people use it, but I don't think a lot of people that you're saying, hey, I was drunk, it's no excuse. Unless, and this is weird because this is where a lot of these women rights activists come in, a drunk girl on a college campus can do no wrong. If something happens to her, and it's terrible, I'm not trying, look at me prefacing, it's awful, rape. Yeah. But a drunk guy on campus can't do anything right. He will always be held responsible for what he does when he's drunk.
Yeah.
A girl being drunk and practicing some poor judgment during that time is the victim. In certain instances,
as opposed to
like
the guy is always. They never say the guy like, well, whenever I hear like, well, she was really drunk, I'm like, well, he might have been too if they just had sex.
Right.
Which I don't agree with women, especially if you're using that to get away with something. Like sometimes women know, and then they just point the finger because they can't deal with what they did.
Right.
I no, that makes it hard for women who really did get raped.
That was a huge story that Patrice told on the Opie and Anthony show when he was accused of that when he was younger, and his mom had to come and bail him out and stand behind him and everything, and it was crushing for him. It really, and it absolutely affected him for the rest of his life. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And his views toward women or views toward feminism and things like that, you could see it definitely affected it. He was an amazing guy. Better Than You is the documentary that is being made. Tell me a little about it because I love the idea.
Thank you.
It's fantastic.
I love that you love the idea because I need everybody's support. We're doing, we want to do a feature-length film. Did I say that with my accent? Did you hear that?
What?
A feature-length film.
Oh, wow, yeah, that was hideous.
Somebody smacked me.
Where's that accent from?
I'm originally from Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
So Pittsburgh has like a weird, it's somewhere between South Central LA and Virginia. I don't know what the accent is, but I do my best to keep it very neutral.
You have. I've never really heard it come out like that.
Yeah, for some reason, I just feature-length film came out all weird. But anyway, it's the documentary about Patrice. We want to go cover his entire lifespan, not just like comedy or where he grew up, but do it like big time.
Right.
As a feature-length film, not just like an hour for TV, anything like that. This is sort of, for me, my opportunity to put him in his leading role in the film because he didn't get there. So this is
Furry
all
Vengeance.
about him.
He and I did together, huh?
Yeah, that was amazing. My daughter liked it.
By the way, did you ever see the footage I have of Patrice falling down the hill? He didn't fall.
No, but I heard about it.
I have it somewhere. It's so great. You can see Brooke Shields laughing at him because he was supposed to slow down and he just fucking couldn't stop.
He couldn't stop.
I've never been happier.
To have,
if I can find it, I'll show it.
Yeah, please. But he radio was like his first love, kind of. He loved doing radio.
He was perfect for it.
But he really loved film. So I would love to be able to do this film exactly how he would want it. So part of the process in doing that is going to the fans first and doing a crowdfunding campaign so that we can raise the money and keep the creative control. You know how networks get. They always have an opinion, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. And there's stories that are going to be in this documentary that maybe people who don't know Patrice well would think that shouldn't be in this story.
How can people get involved?
Well, it's posted on my Twitter and Patrice's Twitter at Von Decarlo, at Big Mama Prods. There's a link for Better Than You. And what is it? Indiegogo/ at Better Than You.
Okay.
@ Better Than You. I suck at this. I'm sorry.
/ the word Better Than You? Or the thing? No.
Let me confuse people even more. This is why I just direct people to
Jimmy.
Who's that old man you interviewed? Oh, my God. What kind of lighting is that? You should have fucking just made it. I should talk like a fucking mob witness behind the curtain. He was a very good friend.
Or if you just go to Indiegogo's page, I think if you search Better Than You, you could get there. You could get there from, Twitter accounts. It's everywhere. Hopefully. I'm sorry I didn't.
Now, there was a big, a big perk, as they call them, for donation to be on yours and Opie's show.
That was the first perk to sell out.
Really?
Did you hear about that?
Do you mean us?
She didn't say douche.
Yeah, I guess that I didn't even know they were doing that. 'Cause obviously, I would have wanted a cut, and I would have wanted $2,000 a pop, and a percentage will go to the Patrice documentary. But yeah, I guess so. So
many people are saying I should have bought that one. So
is that not funny?
Would that have been great?
I could have gone on there like, yeah, I contributed.
No, wait, I could have got it.
Chip. But you're on the show whenever you want.
The beauty of it. Yeah. Wow.
Well, there's other perks that you can contribute to. Anthony.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, we know you like to gamble and just drop
That's
$50,000
true.
at
I prefer not to drop it.
Atlantic City.
Rake it in, but sure.
Buy into the perks.
Yeah. All right, you know what? I am.
Just hand me your wallet.
How about a perk?
Yeah,
what kind of Anthony perk can you have?
Ooh, an Anthony perk.
How about a perk?
Well,
I was going to do a Percocet joke, and I went, no.
And then just
you punny douche. Just back.
Spun out of control there.
As it did, but I caught
didn't
myself.
come up with the perks like that one. So if
yeah,
you want to come up with something, like knock your socks off.
Let me think.
Come spend a night at the compound and have your little vagina fucked.
I'm not buying that.
No. But there's age restrictions.
Yeah, I'm too old.
Of course. How about this? And it's got to be a lot. Like, I would think it's just as good as going to see Opie and Jimmy. So for $2,000, saying for $2,000, put a couple of these out there. When the film is released, how about they get to come here and we screen it in my movie theater with people that want to come in and hang out, have a few beverages, watch it here in my own home, watch the release of the movie. Like that one?
That's
I
great.
love it. I love it.
$2,000. There's one perk being given away, so it will be you alone with a DVD copy.
That'd
in the
be
movie
hilarious. Just sitting in there.
How many people is?
There's there's a lot of seats in there, but I would want a lot of security. I know these people. That no, I'm
I hope only one guy buys it. It's Max Cady, and he just smokes it. Just ruins the screening with his cigar smoke.
God. Or the fucking Joker killer. From
yeah, James Holmes buys one. You know what I mean? I'll just come in halfway through. Fucking claim a few seats.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's awesome.
How about we do it for 5 people?
It's your call. I'm going to say yes to anything you say.
Middle row.
5 people middle row.
I'm in the front row. Then we'll have people behind them.
That's a great philosophy, Lincoln. How about you sit behind them?
Well,
you're not exactly a loved man. You sit behind them.
We'll put Clemenza behind fucking with a few pieces of piano wire.
Well, you fucking security. You really need a little bit of work on your security.
I'll be up in the balcony just with my big dumb hat.
Exactly. I'm going to throw myself off like Damien's maid and watch it from there as I swing.
I love that. We're going to put that up as soon
That's
as
a good one. That's 5 people, $2,000. You get to come. We'll hang out, watch the movie. Enjoy it. And if they can sing, we'll sing some karaoke, too. Why not?
I'm going to add to that.
Oh!
I am going to add to there's already you coming to see our show at Sirius. But if you want to see, I will add for an extra $5, your girlfriend can eat my ass behind that bar. Your lucky girlfriend can tongue my shitter while you're in there watching the movie. And I can just tell her Patrice stories over my shoulder. Yeah, we went to Brazil. Keep licking it. Keep licking it. That's a fucking $5 your boyfriend threw into
God damn. Jesus. All right, that's just $5 more.
$5 more.
I don't know exactly how to word that.
Just say it. Just say they put the asterisk and just say, and for an extra $5 and a little winky face.
He's very well respected with everybody in
absolutely
comedy and stuff. It's very hard to find somebody that had bad things to say about him professionally.
You haven't talked to enough comedians.
I understand. No, I know that, and believe me, I've seen it. It's great.
It's not hard to find. All you gotta do is
he's not being made a saint.
No, but it's never artistically.
But
it's
never artistically.
There's people that will say they don't like Patrice. That Patrice was alive, he'd go, yeah, they shouldn't.
Right, Lisa Lampanelli.
He knew.
Lisa Lampanelli said, I didn't like him when he was alive. What am I supposed to do? Pretend I like him because he's dead?
Wow.
People think I'm supposed to be mad at her for that. I'm like, no way. I love you for saying
Lisa
that.
Lisa shouldn't like him because he was really nasty to her.
He would make her cry.
Ridiculed her. Yeah.
He made her cry.
Yeah.
And Patrice, if he was here
to
hear her say that after he died, he would pat her on the forehead or kiss her on the foot and walk away a good girl. He would say good girl because it was honest.
It was honest, right.
It was honest.
Yep.
And that's what he was all about. You know, so the things like that would be in the film. Like, I would totally have her just completely vent about how much she hated him.
Yeah.
And why.
That would be great to watch. And you don't usually see that side of things when you're doing some kind of a tribute
And how can I do a documentary about Patrice without putting stuff like that in? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just find people who weren't too fond of him. Although people this day and age don't necessarily want to come out and say that because he's dead. If he was alive, people might be more likely to say it, but it's like there's no advantage to badmouth someone who passed away.
Well, it's not even badmouthing. It's like,
like
if just using Lisa as an example, it really wasn't badmouthing him. It was just being honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
I
being
did
truthful.
back today in the gym. I'm really sore.
You did? How is it?
A little sore.
You need
this guy who makes it about himself. Yeah, my back hurts.
Guy who makes it about himself.
No matter what you guys are talking about, fucking hurt my back, man. Sorry, well, I apologize. Go ahead.
Make it about yourself. Hey, Rat or Garrett?
Rat. Speaking of Rat.
Loot Crate or
Ooh, that was a good go fuck yourself by Garrett.
Did you hear that?
Look at the table, shit.
What did you do to him? Not call him back?
The fuck in front of you?
Wow. I like Garrett's hair today. It's very it's very Hitler in downfall.
Oh, there it which it ended the same way.
Yeah.
Go out back by the pool and dump diesel fuel on him.
I have to plug some after you're done, not right now.
Oh, make it about you guys.
Yeah, go ahead. Do the Loot Crate thing.
The new Loot Crate got delivered the other day, right to the door. Loot Crate. In addition to being one of our newest and finest sponsors, it's a box that can be delivered right to your door every month, packed with different geek and gamer gear. I'm not kidding. You know, like a wine of the month kind of a thing. You know that? Only each month you're getting a different themed box packed with geeky and gamer type gear. It's like Comic-Con in a box. Delivered to your door every month. All you need to do is sign up at lootcrate.com/CUMIA. That's me. That's my name. I really do have the Mike Brady hair going today. This is
and blood
in my stool.
No, there's cum in your stool. Wow. Yeah. Oh, that felt good to say.
Christ. All you need to do is sign up at lootcrate.com/Cumia. You're going to get 10% off. That's right. Each month a different theme. Last week we opened up the February Loot Crate, and now for March the theme is covert. All the gear in Loot Crate boxes zones in on the whole world of intrigue and spies. The March Loot Crate includes James Bond T-shirt, Orphan Black comic book, original official replica Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. lanyard, an ID card, an exclusive field agent wristwatch. That was the one that Rat got thrown at him earlier by Aaron. It works well.
Why would anyone throw anything
right
at
in his face. You want the time, you touch the face of it. You wouldn't even know it's a watch. It's amazing. Paracord survival bracelet, which can unwrap in an emergency, used for multitude of things. That's sure. That's sure to make you happy if you're lost in the woods and you need rope, or if you have a prostitute that might need tending to. Plus, lots of other cool little surprises. It's lootcrate.com. Sign up now. Get your monthly Loot Crate. Each month is going to be delivered packed with different things for you. Go to lootcrate.com/CUMIA and order right now. Thank you, Loot Crate. And, of course, we also want you to know that the podcast tomorrow, the Best of podcast, is sponsored by KLT.
You have a best of podcast every week.
Yes, Friday we do.
Is it hard to get people to download a 4-minute podcast? Same bit twice.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You must be going to the O&J one.
Shots fired.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Now we're talking uncensored. If you like what you hear, visit AnthonyCumia.com for subscription information and show details. And never miss a minute of fully archived shows available at any time in streaming HD video or audio download.
The best of the Anthony Cumia Show podcast, sponsored by LootCrate.com/Cumia to save 10% for geek and gamer gear delivered to your door. LootCrate.com/Cumia. Use code CUMIA for 10% off.